Stop, let's talk it out, stretch. We can walk it out, this ain't life came from a primordial soup. But when I look around, I don't believe that's true. Who made the laws? Who made the maths? Why does the music make me dance? Do I feel that something's got my back when I pray to something talk back? How big is God? How big does it need to be? I can comprehend the things I can't see. I see the painting, but I feel the painter. Creation points to a creator. Science is still trying to figure it out. Concern that CERN is messing around. The matter with matter is God has the glue. Sticking things together, that's what God does.
Impossible.
It would be easier if we don't have to splatter your brains.
What I'm saying is,
I think perfectly means that there's one copy perfectly preserved. That's what one
that's
copy
your, okay, great. You think that?
No, that's the definition from textual variant of scholars.
No, but I don't care what they say. Why should we care about what white men say about what perfect preservation is?
Pop quiz. Who's the whitest prophet in history? You're probably thinking Joseph Smith, founder of Mormonism, right? What if I told you there's a prophet out there who's so white, he makes Joseph Smith look like Malcolm X? He's so white, he makes a bowl of vanilla ice cream yell, "Get him out of here, he's blinding me!" He's so white, his 9-year-old child bride didn't need a nightlight. What if I also told you that this pale, pasty white prophet had black slaves and referred to Ethiopians as raisin heads? Would you call him a racist? Or would you give him yet another free pass because our expectations automatically drop to the floor whenever we discuss the Prophet of Islam?
Okay, Zakir Naik.
Zakir Naik is not a Muslim scholar.
He's not a Muslim scholar.
He's
Ahmed
not
Dida.
He's not a scholar on this.
No,
he's not authority.
Okay,
He's not
Dr.
authority.
Shabi Ali.
Not authority.
Are we just going to keep naming scholars? You're going to go, not an authority,
They're
not an
not-
authority.
they're not an authority.
So they don't know Arabic.
No, they don't. Go and ask
So
him.
they ask-
I've got his number on my phone. Do you want me to call him now or not?
Some words may differ, though having the same meaning, or some words may differ, having an alternative meaning that adds more value to the verse. In the beginning, there were one. The Prophet said, I asked him for more and more and more until he gave me 7. Now, can we identify the 7? The answer is no.
On the second view, the Quran would still be preserved. On the first view, the Quran would not be preserved. Do you get it?
I agree.
Yeah.
So I think the problem here then is that there are many Muslims who hold to the first view, not the second.
Yeah, let's talk. Sure. You see.
Sure. So I was wondering what your perspective was about the preservation of the Bible and the Quran.
Right, the Quran has never been changed.
Never been changed. So there's only one Quran.
Yeah, it's only one version of the Quran.
Only one version of the Quran.
Yeah, and since then, like, people have been able to recite it, even if all the Qurans were burned, we'd be able to.
Right. Because the oral tradition, you know exactly what it is, so you can recite it.
Oh, I can't recite it, but people can
Others
memorize
can.
it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, others can.
So do you accept that there's 10 qira'at of the Quran, 10 different readings?
Sure.
Okay, but those 10 different readings are obviously different, right?
Okay.
So if they're different, then there's not one Quran, there's 10 Qurans.
Okay.
So do you take that back, that there's only one Quran?
That's the first time I've heard that.
I said it to you, you accepted it, so I assume you know about it, right? You're not just taking my word for it.
What are the 10 versions?
No, so there's different citations, just like there's different accents. There's a British accent, there's a Texas accent, there's an English accent.
They're not accents.
Different accent. Who are you gonna believe, a Muslim or a Christian?
So
Really? Is that what it boils down to? Just believe.
the difference between the qira'at? Like,
Yeah, of course. So there's a famous one. Muhammad Jab will tell you this. Because I had a chat with him about it. So you have in Surah Al-Fatiha, you have ayah 4. I think it's ayah 4. It's ayah 4 myself. Yeah. So Maliki al-Madin or Maliki al-Madin, owner or king in Arabic.
But can I just interject for a second?
attack me and used to say to the Muslims,
Okay.
your book is wrong because it should be Pharaoh. We used to say, no, actually,
yeah.
our God told us it is king for Joseph, it is Pharaoh for Moses. And
Silly
then-
Muslim description in the Quran. The Bible, I don't need to defend the Bible. I can test it with archaeology, which doesn't need an opinion. The evidence speaks quite loudly. But if, as a scholar with a sheikh next to you, is how do you test the stories of the Quranaki?
Arabic. They're 2 different words. So if you want to read up about this, you can get a book called The 10 Qira'at of the Noble Quran. Dr. Fidel Suleiman, who worked for the British Foundation in Cairo, which is a Dawah Institute, and he's wrote a book about it, where he translates the Quran into English, but not just in one reading, he does it for all 10. So you can read the differences in the Quran for all different 10 valid readings according to Islamic scholars.
Great.
Cool. So do you accept then that the Quran is not perfectly preserved? Because
No, I'll read that book and I'll see if that's the case. It's the first time I've heard that.
Okay. Well, all right. I think you can see the point that the Quran isn't perfectly preserved, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
That's according to you.
Well, that's according to the scholars I quoted. I mean, you can ask Muhammad Hijab, he has the same view.
Because the question is, which one is divinely revealed?
Well, it gets a bit more complicated because there's supposed to be 7 aluf.
Also, keep in mind that you guys are Christians. You guys misinterpret everything.
Okay. So that's called ad hominem.
Why would we
that's called ad hominem.
That's you think a man is God.
That's ad hominem. Ad hominem. Calm down. Calm down. No need to attack someone.
No, I mean,
it's just ad hominem. Ad hominem means against them. It's a fallacy that people use in debate when they can't actually address the point.
I'm having a conversation.
So let's address the point. So according to Islamic Sunnah, the Hadith, Muhammad says there is 7 viable different ways that you can recite the Quran. They're called the Aruf. I can get the Hadith, it's Sahih Bukhari and others as well. So that must mean there are 7 ways of reciting the Quran. But according to your scholars, there's 10. How did that happen?
That was the first time I'm hearing that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You should look it up. Because what people are saying is that actually, Uthman, you know Uthman canonized the Quran. Do you know about that canonization process?
No. What's that?
Okay, so the third caliph.
People like that.
Yeah, so Uthman put together a committee around 652 time to around 656. And he put together this committee to collect different Quranic materials from different places because there were reports of people arguing about what the Quran was because they differed. He then decided to standardize it into one Qurayshi dialect, to one standard reading. And then he burnt all the other Quranic materials and he sent it out to the 5 different cities. So you had Kufa, Sham, Medina, Mecca, and so on. My point is that if there's meant to be 7 readings, where are they?
I don't know. Where do you think they are?
I think they were destroyed. I think that 6 out of 7 valid readings for your Quran are destroyed and they're not preserved.
They are within all the recitation we have.
6 out of 7 is the majority. It's a vast majority.
Who do you think destroyed them?
This is my good friend Sam. He's a good guy. Love him. Absolutely love him.
Who do you think destroyed them?
Uthman.
Why do you
They are within.
I don't know. We don't know. I mean, it's a scholarly question. We don't actually know what Uthman destroyed. It just says that there were Quranic manuscript material that was destroyed. It was burnt, but they never elaborate on what that was. So in effect,
you don't think you're just projecting about how all the
is this another ad hominem?
Don't look at him. Look at me. When you were in your lowest moment, and you were alone, I did not turn my face from you. I saw you under the fig tree.
Just a
Another ad hominem? Okay, it's ad hominem.
Projecting?
That's a
Because
two-court
all
fallacy.
the Bible.
Hold on. Hold on.
You don't think you're just projecting?
Hold on.
Your
Going to Speaker's Corner.
That's a two-court
You
fallacy.
don't think you're just projecting your insecurity?
Ad hominem. Ad hominem.
Brother,
Ad hominem.
that's a two-court fallacy. Whether it was or was not the case that the Bible was preserved or not.
Because that's what I noticed about Christians. You guys just project your insecurities about your religion.
You going?
onto Muslims.
Whoa. You going? He walked off. Right. Yeah, I just generally want Muslims to know what scholarship says, and then they can make their own mind up.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to approach it.
Good. All right, take care. Well, that was a lot shorter than I was expecting. I was expecting something longer than that. I came in with basically 2 points, that there is not one single Quran. There's a very minimum 10, according to the scholars of today. I quoted a source, I quoted a book that he could read this from. There are 10 different qira'ats. So he said, I have no idea. And then, which I kind of hope would be, he'd know a bit more by now. I know he's been a Muslim for, I think, maybe over a year or something like that. I don't know, but someone hasn't told him the truth about the Quran. He's been told, and he told me straight at the beginning, there is one perfectly preserved Quran. But when I said, actually, here's some evidence to the contrary, it all fell apart, which is a shame, really. I hope that Sneeko actually goes back and looks at these claims and does his own study of the evidence, because the evidence is overwhelming and it comes from Islamic scholars. That's the funny thing. I'm quoting him, Islamic scholars, and he's like, well, I don't want to know this, and then he leaves. He walks away, which is a shame. Muslims cannot defend their doctrine of perfect preservation. It is a falsehood. It is evident. And yeah, I then brought up the point about the aruf, the fact that there's meant to be 7 acceptable modes of the Quran. Where are they? Right. No one knows where they are. They've gone missing. 6 out of 7 different variants of the Quran have gone, which seems a bit bad to me. But hey, hopefully Sneeko can go look that up and find out more for himself. And hopefully this will be the first step into leading him back to Christ. Have a genuine faith with Christ, to have truth with you and not be fighting against truth like the Muslims are today. Sneeko, I hope sincerely you do come to Christ. It would be better than succeeding in falsehood that Islam is. So God bless you all. Come to Christ. Have a great day. God bless.
Thank you, wise man.
And I just want to make it clear that the first view is wrong.
When you listen to this kind of, when people say that the Quran word for word, letter for letter,
right,
it makes it seem as if there's no variance.
Right.
I agree with that. And I think that's a mistake on our behalf. Can you say that any variation in the Quran that we see through manuscripts, through hadith, or through qira'at, or through any other way, any variation historically identifiable, the source of it originally was not from Muhammad based on this hadith?